Two electric SUVs are entering one of the most important parts of America's EV market. One comes from Rivian, a company built around adventure. The other comes from Volvo, a brand built around luxury, safety, and everyday comfort. And now, they're getting surprisingly close on price. The Rivian R2 starts at just $44,990. The Volvo EX60 starts at $58,400. But here's where this comparison gets interesting. The R2 is smaller and cheaper. The EX60 is more premium and promises significantly more range in some configurations. So if you were spending your money on one of these two electric SUVs, which one actually makes more sense? And by the end of this video, the answer may not be the one you expect.
Welcome back to AutoMaster Drive. Today, we're putting the Rivian R2 against the Volvo EX60. And this isn't a comparison between a concept car and some distant future vehicle. These are real products entering the market now. Rivian's R2 lineup is built to bring the company's adventure-focused formula into a much more accessible price range. Volvo is taking a different approach with the EX60. It's targeting the premium electric SUV buyer with technology, comfort, safety, fast charging, and long-range capability. So this isn't simply about which SUV has the bigger battery or faster acceleration. It's about what kind of electric SUV you actually want to live with. Let's start with the number everyone notices first.
The current Rivian R2 lineup starts with the R2 Standard at $44,990. That version uses a single-motor rear-wheel drive setup, makes 350 horsepower, and has an EPA estimated range of 275 miles. Then there's the R2 Premium at $53,990. And above that sits the R2 Performance at $57,990. Both of those higher versions are listed with dual-motor all-wheel drive and an EPA estimated 330-mile range. The Volvo EX60 enters at a higher price. The P6 Plus starts at $58,400. The P10 AWD Plus starts at $60,750. And the Ultra versions cost more. So right away, Rivian has a major advantage. If your priority is simply getting into an electric SUV for the least money, R2 wins. But that's only the beginning, because
range. Let's look at the numbers carefully. The R2 Standard is currently listed at 275 miles of EPA estimated range. The R2 Premium and Performance versions are listed at 322 miles. That's already a very respectable number. But Volvo is aiming higher. The EX60 P6 is listed with up to 307 miles. The P10 all-wheel drive reaches up to 322 miles. And then there's the P12 all-wheel drive. Volvo says that version will eventually offer up to 400 miles of electric range. But there's an important detail here. That 400-mile figure is preliminary. It is not something we should present as a final EPA rating. And the P12 isn't the first EX60 configuration arriving. So for the versions most buyers will actually be looking at first, the comparison is much closer. R2 Standard, 275 miles. EX60 P6, up to 307 miles. R2 Premium, 332 miles. And suddenly, the R2 looks much stronger than you might expect.
Now let's talk performance. The entry R2 Standard produces 350 horsepower and reaches 60 miles per hour in about 5.9 seconds. That's already quick enough for everyday American driving. But the R2 Performance is a completely different story. With dual-motor all-wheel drive, Rivian lists 656 horsepower and a claimed 0 to 60 time of just 3.6 seconds. That's sports car territory. The Volvo EX60 takes a more complicated approach. Its different powertrains are designed around different priorities, from efficiency to all-wheel drive performance. And Volvo's top P12 configuration is listed with up to 503 horsepower and a preliminary 0 to 60 time of 4.4 seconds. So if we're talking about outright acceleration, the R2 Performance is the monster here. But most buyers aren't buying a compact electric SUV just to win a drag race. They're buying it to live with. And that's where these two vehicles become very different.
Rivian versus Volvo philosophy. Rivian's entire identity is different. The R2 is designed around adventure. Rivian gives it 9.6 inches of ground clearance, a 25-degree approach angle, and a 26-degree departure angle. It's designed to feel comfortable leaving the pavement. It's the SUV you can imagine taking to a trailhead on Friday night, then driving to work Monday morning. Volvo takes a different path. The EX60 is more traditional luxury. It's about Scandinavian design, comfort, safety, technology, and making everyday electric driving feel effortless. So here's the simplest way to describe them. Rivian is selling adventure. Volvo is selling experience. And that distinction matters more than a few numbers on a specification sheet. Technology. Now we get to one of the most important battles: technology. Rivian has built its vehicles around software from the beginning. The R2 continues that philosophy with an evolving digital experience and Rivian's connected ecosystem. It's not simply a screen sitting on the dashboard. The software is part of the vehicle. Volvo is taking technology even further in another direction. The EX60 is built on Volvo's new SPA3 electric architecture and uses a new generation of connected and software-driven systems. Volvo is also putting major emphasis on AI-powered technology. And then there's safety. This is where Volvo has decades of brand identity behind it. Rivian has the modern software-first advantage. Volvo has the heritage and safety reputation. So this round is difficult to call, because the better system depends on what you value more.
Charging and road trips. For an EV, range is only half the story. Charging matters just as much. Rivian has built its own adventure network and continues to expand its charging ecosystem. The company says its fast chargers can add up to 150 miles of range in around 20 minutes, depending on conditions. And R2 owners also benefit from access to the broader North American charging ecosystem. Volvo is also making charging speed a major part of the EX60 story. The EX60 is built on Volvo's newest electric architecture, designed around faster charging and improved efficiency. And this is where the real-world test will eventually matter more than the brochure. Because the question isn't simply, how fast can it charge? It's, how easy is it to road trip?
Daily life. Now imagine owning each one. The R2 gives you a lower entry price, adventure-focused design, strong ground clearance, available all-wheel drive, and the distinctive Rivian personality. The EX60 gives you a more traditional premium experience. Volvo design, a strong safety identity, more luxury-focused equipment, and higher range potential depending on configuration. So if you're a younger buyer who wants something different, the R2 is incredibly tempting. If you're a family buyer who wants premium comfort and a familiar luxury experience, the EX60 starts making more sense.
Value battle. And here's where the R2 becomes really interesting. The entry R2 starts almost $13,500 below the entry EX60. That's not a small difference. That's money that could cover charging equipment, accessories, insurance costs, or simply stay in your bank account. And yet, the R2 isn't some stripped-down electric SUV. Even the standard model gives you 350 horsepower and 275 miles of EPA estimated range. Move up to R2 Premium, and you get 330 miles of estimated range and dual-motor all-wheel drive for $53,990. That's a very compelling package. The EX60 answers with luxury, technology, comfort, and its own range advantages.
So this isn't really a battle between a cheap SUV and an expensive SUV. It's a battle between two different definitions of value.
So, Rivian R2 or Volvo EX60. If your number one priority is price and adventure, I'd lean toward the R2. It's cheaper to enter. It has serious performance potential. It has genuine off-road capability. And it feels completely different from a traditional SUV. But if your priority is premium comfort, luxury, safety, and long-range potential, the EX60 becomes extremely difficult to ignore, especially once Volvo's longer-range configurations arrive. So my overall winner, for value and personality, is the Rivian R2. But for the buyer who wants a premium electric family SUV, the Volvo EX60 may be the better fit.
And that's what makes this comparison so interesting. They're not really trying to build the same SUV. Rivian wants you to go farther off the beaten path. Volvo wants to make everyday electric driving feel more luxurious. Now, I want to know what you think. Would you take the Rivian R2 or the Volvo EX60? Drop your choice in the comments and subscribe to AutoMaster Drive for more future car battles. Driving the future of cars.